So I guess I'm on a roll. Portland, I guess I'd have to say it's kind of what I expected. If you've never been here before, it's another big city, left-leaning, not to talk politics, but it is a liberal environment. I'm from LA, so I'm used to the sort of social interaction. Why did I choose Portland? I chased a job up here. I think in my prior videos I've explained that enough times. But why did I choose to stay up here with the job failing, the job that I chased up here? Well, I didn't have a job waiting for me at home. I had done some searching and I'd interviewed a few times in LA and I didn't find anything. A few of the interviews I kind of flubbed. I might have just kind of been very rusty because I had not interviewed in so long. So that might be why I didn't get a couple potential interviews, or interviews that could have been potential work. So the reason I stuck with Portland and spent some time looking for an emergency replacement job is because it was going to cost me several hundreds of dollars to drive back home, knowing I didn't have a job to wait for, or I didn't have a job waiting for me. So I decided I'm ultimately just looking for stability. The job I wanted was a six-figure earning job, and that turned out to be a scam. It's always posted. They can't keep a hot ass in the seat. So anyway, I stayed up here because I just wanted to stabilize. So I put my efforts towards finding a job. Unfortunately, it got a little desperate because I needed my bills paid. So I took a job. I took a job that was very temporary. Before the job I have now, I took a 2-week project with the local hospital. That was actually a better paying job doing what I'm doing now. It was, I liked it, except the energy wasn't, well, yeah, I guess I didn't like it. The energy was not what it is where I am now, which I do like. Everyone is thrilled with my performance. Everyone gets along with everyone. I don't see any weird, ugly energy. But yeah, so I took that 2-week job. It was stagnant. I was hired to handle that CrowdStrike issue, although most of those computers at the hospital were already fixed. So we just helped close up a few tickets, and that was just a 2-week project. It had the potential to grow, but they were paid by CrowdStrike, so they had the funds to keep us around for those 2 weeks. So they said, why not? They had a slight backlog of ordinary tickets that had nothing to do with CrowdStrike because of how CrowdStrike broke. So my second job up here, lasting 2 weeks, was to fix hospital computers from that CrowdStrike issue that Boeing went publicly annoyed. The one that Boeing was crying over publicly, where it shut their systems down. So that was technically my second emergency replacement job. The job I have now with the engineering firm, which I don't really want to share as far as what they're called, doing the same job, but it pays a third less. So that's why I'm still in Portland instead of going home to LA. If I can get some stability, then I'll figure out what I want. And I thought about what I consider a livable wage. What I'd like is to be able to jump on a plane once a month anywhere in the country for the weekend. I should be able to do that. That's what I want to be able to do with my spare weekends. That's a livable wage. If you can't jump on a plane once a month, then your funds are either too tied up or you're not earning what you're worth. So that's why I'm in Portland. Things I've noticed in Portland that are a little different than LA. People like to park on either side of the road, willy-nilly. Things you would get a ticket for in LA. You park on the left side of the road going backwards. It's a little freaky. The first time I saw it, I thought I was driving backwards, especially since there's a lot of roads around here that are one way. So I've caught myself flinching, thinking I was driving down the wrong way. That's a little sketchy, a little tricky. So it doesn't matter what neighborhood in Portland you're in, I see it everywhere. People parked on both sides of the roads. I'm seeing the back ends of cars on both sides of the street. I've seen the front ends of both sides of the car, both ends of the car, or both sides of the street. It's a little, it can be intimidating if you've never seen it. So yeah, you don't see that in LA. That's the difference. Obviously in LA you have the beach, you have the beach air. So when I first got here, the freeway system is a little disorienting because I used to use the beach as a direction finder. Even if I was familiar with the area, if I was in a neighborhood I'd never been to before, I can kind of see where the sun is. That's the other thing, it's a lot more cloudy up here, so you can't look at the sun. But without the beach, figuring out what direction you're in, I understand you have the whole quadratic setup with the freeway systems, and you figure out what part of the neighborhood you're in. But yeah, it's just, I've noticed those differences. The driving, the people are a lot alike. I mean, obviously the politics are the same as in LA, but the energy's a little bit different. I think the whole gay scene is obviously a little more open, even though it's fairly open in LA. But I'm also from the beach part of LA, so it is a little different. I mean, the gay scene in recent decades has obviously been a lot more relaxed. So that obviously is prolific. It's everywhere. Differences? I haven't really thought about that. The freeway system here is half finished, and there's a lot of ramps, on ramps and off ramps that are like almost the same as the direction you don't want to go. So the GPS doesn't really do a good thing at differentiating sometimes which ramp, off ramp you want or on ramp you want. So I've made those mistakes several times. What else? What else do I like? I mean, it is beautiful. I think I've seen more of Oregon than most long-term residents. When I came up here, I specifically knew I wanted to see the West Coast. I mean, the entire coast. So I made it a point to take PCH. Ultimately, there are parts of Highway 1 that are PCH. Most of PCH is its own venue or route. But I wanted to see the coast, knowing it was a lot less boring than just jetting up the 5 in 2 days. So I made it a point to take several days heading up the coast, and I camped out wherever I could. It was cramped. It was not comfortable because my car was jam-packed with all my stuff, which is mostly in the storage now. But yeah, that was one of my things I was most excited to do. I wanted to do the coast. So once I got into the state, I still had 3 or 4 days to kill. So I had, when I got up to, I think, Coos Bay, that's where I made a right turn. And I forgot what the name of the city is, but I had a friend I met on Facebook. So I hung out with her Independence Day. And yeah, I was there 4 or 5 hours. And didn't want to overstay my welcome, so I basically used the fact that I figured it would be dark soon, and that there would be drunks on the road. And then, of course, I'm not accustomed to being so far north, and didn't realize it stays dark until 10 a.m. in the summer when you're this far up. So anyway, what was that city? I'll think of it when I'm not thinking so hard. But anyway, that was how I headed inland, and then I found the 5, and I found the Mackenzie River. So I kind of did some checking out the river. I found a cool bridge that looked vintage, a covered bridge, the kind of covered bridge you see in magazines and books and fairy tales. 100-year-old bridge, kind of cool. Car in front of me is leaving, that's why my face is all red. Yeah, that's about it. Anyway, I don't mean to ramble, but I felt like I was in the mood to talk, so I got myself another 10 minutes here. Keep me talking. Comment in the comment below. Keep this conversation two-way, because ultimately, if I'm just talking to this, ask me some questions. Make your comments about similar experiences. Ask me questions. I don't offend easy, so you can ask me pretty much anything. Yeah, there we go. Have a great night. Bye.